Welcome everybody today to the Partner Solutions series, which is our fortnightly series to our Light Year Docs members and anyone else who likes to join us, where we deliver partner solutions in to help accountants, advisors, planners, providing them solutions that will help them, I guess, their lives better and run their practices better. I'm really looking forward to today. One of our close partners we work with, and we have an API from Light Year Docs into BGL. I'm joined by Warren Renden, who's the head of product of BGL CAS 360. Hey, Warren, how are you?
Good, thanks, Michael, and hello, everyone.
Thanks for joining me. Hopefully, I was just saying to Warren and the Light Year Docs team, hopefully I'm looking at the right camera today. I'm actually sitting in an office of a client that I provide consultant CFO service into. And I'm actually doing a capital raise for them at the moment. I've worked closely with them for quite some time. They're one of Australia's biggest digital marketing companies, and they're actually starting to do a bit of work for Light Year Docs as well. I was actually going to walk through with my camera and actually show their offices to you, because I actually quite like it. It's very Google, Facebook, with bean bags and Klaxon stuff everywhere. Normally I've got a Klaxon t-shirt on when I'm in here. There's table tennis tables, there's pinball machines, graffiti all over the walls. It's actually quite, they Voss water for everyone. It's actually fantastic, but it's great to be in. And I'm actually sitting in their back room, with soundproof room, which is a podcast recording room with microphones everywhere. And yeah, there's a quote thing that John Appleton, don't they do any work? Well, it's interesting you said that, John. There's actually a chart up on the whiteboard near the table tennis it's called the cheese, and it seems to be a challenge table. I'm not sure I'm willing to take anyone on. I have been told by the directors that if you can take on the champion in the office and beat them, you can get your monthly management fee for free. So I might have to sharpen up on my table tennis skills a bit more before I take that challenge on. But yeah, so thanks, Warren, for joining us today. Laura, if you just want to flick through, I've got a Laura flicking through the slides, because I'm actually on there, as I said, in their podcast room, and they didn't have PowerPoint. That as digital marketing people, they have Apple everywhere, and I was trying to quickly get through it. So as I said, I'm joined by Warren today. I've actually had the week off. I've had a bit of family tragedy at the start of the week. I won't go into that. I'll get teary and upset, but it's been a tough week, but I'm really looking forward to today. Other than the fact that we're delivering a webinar today in relation to our relationship with BGL and their great products, I personally use BGL myself, CAS and S360, and I love when I do bring people, and I tend to always try to do that. If I'm bringing someone on the Partner Solution Series, I want to, if I'm going to bring a partner to the table, I actually want to use it myself, and I have been using the product, and because I'm a believer in it, and it's, and I love how great it is actually. So Laura, if you can just flick through to the next one. Keep going. So yeah, obviously our fortnightly series, we bring partner solutions to the table. Obviously, we've got a very close relationship with Change CPS, who are big BGL users as well. Eventum Optum, I Love Accounting. Just flicking along. Next slide. I've put up there. So this is we've got our handshake there, BGL. The handshake represents also, we've got an API at the moment with CAS 360. We'll be developing that out with Simple Fund 360. I'm not sure on the invest side yet, because I haven't utilized that product yet, but I'm keen to dig in, and I was speaking to Warren about this yesterday. I haven't actually used it, so I won't talk too much about it, but I am keen to find out more about it from an overview. And we'll be developing that out as we're Light Year Docs 2.0 is in the background getting developed at the moment. I know Ash and the team have been working heavily. I sit in on all the meetings. The new branding and everything, which is not up there for Light Year Docs, is amazing. The new site, the customer portal. I'm so impressed with what we're about to bring out to market. Hopefully that we're right to go without putting any pressure on here, early October to sometime in October, and then we'll be going out hard in relation to that. So Laura, if you can just next slide. So then I've got Warren, as I mentioned, I grabbed a picture of him off the net. I think it was from a Reg Tech. And I know Warren's been there quite some time, but I had a quick squiz over your LinkedIn profile, and we've met a few times before, but over 14 years, what a track record and run record with BGL, and starting from support consultant. So you've come from almost the ground up and learnt everything to head of product. Pretty impressive, mate.
No, thank you. It's been a lot of fun. I was hired as a graduate. No accounting firm would hire me. So did an accounting degree, tried to get a job at an accounting practice. No one would hire me. BGL were nice enough to put me on help desk. And that was 14 years ago. And it's been a great journey, a great company to work for. And really proud of what BGL's become over that 14 years as well. So it's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. I mean, I've seen the journey from a long time as well with what Ron's done and stuff. And obviously Ron and Grant have worked together in many different forms and lives and stuff. And Daniel's absolutely, like I do a fair bit of work with Daniel, speak to him regularly. He's absolutely brilliant. I think the whole team there is, Adriana as well. Like it's just, it's good to work with. We're sort of trying to have meetings and work a lot together. Hey, Warren, is that the photo from 14 years ago?
Well, I can't get out and get a haircut at the moment, so maybe.
Yeah, you're in lockdown. I mean, up in Queensland, we had 14 days just recently. I mean, and everyone's complaining about it, but poor Victoria, I mean, not as. I mean, Victoria in a lot longer than New South Wales, but New South Wales is also suffering the same fate at the moment. But
yeah, we cracked the double century today, so it's our 200th day in lockdown today.
Wow,
it's horrible. It's pretty hard. Like, I mean, as I said, I had a death of a close family member, and I was speaking to my parents this week, and they were getting quite upset because they're quite old and talking about they may never see family members again before they pass away and stuff. And it's it's sort of, and you think about and hear about it, but it's not until it's really close to you actually start going, well, it is, the world we live in at the moment. It's pretty horrible, isn't it?
Look, it's been a tough time for everyone. I hope there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe summer. We can all look forward to a summer where we are able to get around and move around and see family. I know there's a lot of people doing it tough, and hopefully, in a couple of months' time, we've got a bit more of a brighter outlook and a bit more of a opportunity to move around the country.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just you're saying before you couldn't get a job as an accountant. I remember when times were, it was a lot harder back then, but now, mate, people are falling backwards. You can't get accountants anywhere. I've got the amount of inquiries I've had in Zoom calls of late in terms of people wanting to outsource or offshore. It's just gone, especially the last probably 2.5 to 3 weeks. It's just gone through the roof. It's just, which is good. It's good for our BPO team and everything that we're built up over the Philippines over the last 8 to 10 years. But it's it's just interesting. It's in relation to the market. It's just I know myself. We've tried to recruit, especially that mid-tier to senior accountant. It's very, very difficult out there at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and not just accounting. I can provide some insight into hiring for developers, for example, is just as tough. So I mean, it's been an interesting time, and certainly hiring people across the board is very difficult. There are actually some exemptions for accountants and for software developers by the immigration department not too long ago, which hopefully makes it a little bit easier to get people into these
definitely.
businesses.
Yeah, I mean, and it sort of shows you how important it is to use great applications such as BGL, CAS 360 and Simple Fund 360, to sort of make your life a lot more efficient and streamlined in terms of the way CAS dealing with ASIC and corporate compliance, but also your trusts now is quite powerful on CAS. But, I think this really highlights that more so. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we've got firms that take different approaches, some that will outsource. I mean, obviously cloud technology allows that. And then obviously we've got firms that are, now distributed teams where you've got staff working in their homes and not in the office. Certainly using cloud technology more than anything just allows you to, I suppose, keep the consistency and keep a reliable service rather than having to, maybe connect up like we used to have to do through virtual servers and things like that to access applications. I think using cloud applications through the pandemic has been, one of the bright lights as we've been able to continue to keep working at least.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember the days of using virtual servers, and it was a nightmare when you trying to work out of the office and the speed and everything. But and then talking about what you're saying in terms of outsourcing stuff. I mean, at I Love Accounting, we actually do some for a few light year members and non-light year members as well. We do a number of SMSFs where it still is white labeled in their accounting and advisory firm, and we just provide. We log into their BGL. Some use Class. My preference is BGL S360, but we also assist with Class as well, and we log into that, and they have their label. We label ours if they want to, but generally they'll label it as their accounting and advisory firm. We just provide that service to them at a good price for them as well. So Laura, if you can just jump on to the next slide. So we're just before we sort of jump into more, Warren's actually, expertise is around CAS 360, but I just thought we'd just talk about, what's happening at BGL. I'll give a bit of a rundown of each of those products, what's been going on. I've mentioned down there as well the move into NZ, which we can talk a bit about. But I guess Simple Fund 360, it's come a long way from when I used to use it as in the desktop version to this amazing cloud app now. And I think even the cloud app has advanced a long way as well. I mean, in terms of the utilization and everything as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's come a huge journey. I mean, Simple Fund's getting close to 10 years since we started working on it. The team now that works on it and puts that product together and releases software every 2 or 3 weeks now is enormous. It's over 50 people that are dedicated on that Simple Fund 360 product. And I suppose when you've got a team that large, you're able to deliver just incredible functionality. We've gone from building bank flow automation to now really AI powered transaction matching, where we are using artificial intelligence to match those transactions, give you a confidence level. I know with my fund, I've got a very simple SMSF, but the accounting is almost done for me. I simply are going through the process of confirming the accounting that the system is suggesting for me. So in terms of efficiency, it's enormous. I mean, a lot of people use Simple Fund 360. There's thousands of firms that use it, so it wouldn't come as a shock. I guess one of the big things that I'd talk about for Simple Fund 360 and for firms that haven't seen it or aren't utilizing this particular feature is the work papers. If there was one feature I'd highlight in this session is those work papers, because they're fantastic. They're built in the product, which is a big change for SMSF administration software. We're the only one that do this, and I know this because I'm going through it myself with my own fund right now. But basically, working through the work papers in product, having everything available, you can simply click and go and have a look at a breakdown of the transaction. It's so powerful. So I know there's a lot of people that use Simple Fund 360 for obviously, the transaction management, the tax return, things like that. But if you are, if you're not using work papers, have a look. I know that the auditing community is huge on the work papers. My fund, for example, I just complete the work papers and get the auditor to log in, and we're done. So, it's a huge advantage, and certainly I'd encourage you to look at it. But, there are so many updates that come out for Simple Fund 360. As I mentioned, there's one every 2 to 3 weeks. So a huge amount of product, but the one takeaway would be the work papers. Yeah,
there's, another feature I really love too is I like the app. I think it's BGL Engage or something, and also that you can send the trustee queries or trustee or member queries out on it as well, that you can and you can have source document and they can attach to it through Simple S360. It's fantastic, and they can send out by email. It's just, I find clients love it. It just makes it's a lot more the process a lot better, and it's almost a task list in relation to got queries when our team is rolling out and stuff. We've got a couple of, I'll just jump in. We've got a couple of questions on there.
Yeah, I'll just build on that, Michael. But yeah, trustee query is a great feature. So the app, if you want to have a look in your app store, if you're using Simple Fund 360 or Simple Invest 360 for that matter, is called Engage by BGL. It's both on Apple and Android, so you can go into the app stores there and download it and run it. It's a really nice way of looking at your fund. Certainly for your fund members, for the members of the fund. You don't do the accounting in the app. What you do though is you're able to have a look at your contribution caps, for example. Be able to have a look at your investment portfolio and how the investments are performing. And then obviously you've got the ability to where the accountant can send a trustee query question through to the particular member or the trustee, where they can provide a screenshot, for example, of a source document, and that will be attached to the transaction automatically. So yeah, a huge amount of functionality, and certainly encourage you to have a look at the mobile phone app.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things, as you said, in terms of your investments and your allocations and the balance and stuff, we do, our team solution in terms of ILA and what we, as part of our outsource, and also even our internal as well, we actually do our funds on a monthly, and because of the way with the automated bank feeds and investment feeds and everything, that we do them on a monthly. It's almost a bookkeeping function for the fund, and then the SMSF and the members or the trustees get to see real time, in effect, their SMSF balances, just as if you're an industrial in an institutional fund or anything. And I know Kush has just questioned, as S360 got all the same data feeds and everything as CLAS? Yes, it does. It's got all the bank feeds, investment feeds. It's an extensive list that.
I think it's 400 or 500 different feeds. It's enormous.
Yeah.
So yeah, to Kush, absolutely. I'm happy to arrange a time after this to go through and show you. And I think there was another question there from John in regards to having a look. And John's actually asked a question about conversion. I'm happy to say that we can convert all of your class data to Simple Fund 360 data for you.
What's happened there with the slides?
Oh, sorry. I think I gave you control to make it easier.
Okay. Do you want to take control back?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I wasn't concentrating on that. So if you just want to, and so Simple Invest. As I said, I haven't really had to play with this or look at this, but I'm very keen and interested. I sort of understand a little bit, but if you want to give an overview of that, what that is, it says investment portfolio software. If you can just jump back one slide.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So it's not too dissimilar to Simple Fund. Simple Fund is an investment SMSF admin software, and Simple Invest is an investment basically outside of an SMSF portfolio software. So if you've got a trust, for example, or a company, an investment company, even if you're an individual or a partnership, what you're able to do is actually put all of your investments into Simple Invest 360. And what you get is a huge amount of power that we've built for SMSFs in Simple Fund, but you get that for your investments as well. So if you are looking after, high net worth individuals where you've got a lot of transactions that are happening, a lot of share trades, even just a lot of investments in general, what you're able to use is leverage the 400 or 500 data feeds that we have for Simple Fund and put them into Simple Invest. So all of those, share trades, all of those data feeds come straight into Simple Invest, and you're able to keep track of and manage all of the requirements for that particular investment vehicle, including all of your CGT, including all of your reporting. So it's a really powerful product for those investments that are not in an SMSF, but an investment portfolio. So it really complements Simple Fund, and you might have crossover where you've got an SMSF that's got a lot of money in it, but that particular person or family might have a trust that they want similar functionality for. Then that's what Simple Invest is. And Simple Invest has only just launched. Okay, so it is new in the market. We've only launched it in 2021. We went live, I think it was in July. One of the best things I can tell all of you is if you are using Simple Fund 360, you'll get 5 free ledgers on Simple Invest 360. So, so certainly if you are using Simple Fund 360 and you are interested in Simple Invest 360, please reach out to your account manager or just contact BGL in general. Simple Invest has had a huge amount of take up, as you can imagine, with a lot of trusts and investment companies and even just high net worth individuals.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. As you said, and especially with the CGT reporting and everything, the CGT reporting in Simple Fund is absolutely awesome. So I'll certainly be starting to roll that out and looking at it. And often, you mentioned before having your own fund on S360. That I did the same thing when I originally started using Simple Fund. And I set up my own SMSF and started doing it myself. And I think that's one of the good ways of testing things out and trying. And I know Tim Munro and Grant and myself talk all the time in relation to light year doc products, and especially around our succession estate planning type products and our asset protection. We say, do it yourself, do it on your own. You Simple Invest on your own investment portfolio, have a play, see what it comes out with, and then start rolling it out to your clients. And you'll get to understand it and know a lot better going through that.
Yeah, it's a great way of learning software and building software in general as well, is to be your own customer. One of the things at BGL is a lot of the time we are our own customers as well, like you would be for Lightyear. We are our own customer as well, and there are things in the software that we don't like, so we go and fix them up and make them better as well, because it'll make it better for everyone.
Chris Phillips is just saying, does Simple Invest have feeds to pull in docs from the ASX? So I'm assuming it does because Simple Fund does. So
yeah, absolutely. So broker feeds. So just about every, I mean, I say just about because there's a list on our website. It'll be 450 long, but just about every broker, every major broker, all of that data will come through. We are also, the share registry data as well. So the registry verification. So not only do you get broker information, you also get the registry verification that you can purchase as well. So all of that is available, Chris.
Oh, wonderful. And Warren's baby, CAS 360. So the corporate compliance software. I mean, and this is where, and I probably haven't spoken to you, this is where I sort of, when I started as a junior accountant, many, long time ago now, 20 plus years ago, I actually did a lot of the corporate compliance in-house for that accounting firm. And I loved it because I used to do the annual returns and my productivity used to be through the roof because you'd be charging clients for, a sum, and then I'd be able to do the annual returns and everything. And so my productivity was 300%, 400%, 500%, and people were quite jealous.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, but based on the fee, but I mean, and I certainly didn't have the benefit of using a CAS 360, which I do now, and and how life has changed dramatically over time in relation to that. But it's fantastic. I mean, in terms of its APIs into ASIC, obviously, and there's a few things coming out on CAS 360 in terms of the ability to buy documents directly and a few things like that. I know that we've been working with CAS 360 on that. Obviously, you moved into NZ as well now. How's that all going?
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I could talk about CAS 360 forever, but yeah, we obviously I will touch on some of the key features in CAS 360. We'll go through a little bit of a demo. I know there's a question here, but we'll go through a bit of a demo soon. But yeah, the move into New Zealand's been great. I mean, the company's office over there, which is their equivalent of ASIC, have provided us with some incredible APIs. And actually, the new ASIC registry is built on the same system as the New Zealand registry. And it really gives us a lot more functionality than even what ASIC allows. So we're able to get instant responses for lodgements. We're able to make inquiries at any point in time. It's a really modern API solution. So the functionality that we're able to provide in CAS 360 for New Zealand customers is incredible, which is great. I must say that it's multi-jurisdictional. I know we're talking to Aussie accounting firms here, but if you ever needed to do a search of a company in New Zealand, you can do that in CAS 360 today, in CAS 360 Australia. If you ever needed, so you can do that. You can search any company. So you can do that. You can have a look at their data. You can even import it into your system. So all of that you can do. But also, if you did have, for whatever reason, 1 or 2 New Zealand clients, you can file all of those company requirements, including something like an annual return or a director's change. You can file that in CAS 360 to New Zealand. So if there are any clients out there that do New Zealand entities, CAS 360 can do that as well.
That's brilliant, because I've actually, in a previous CFO role, we had a few entities over in NZ, because obviously natural progression with a lot of Australian company sales and everything in financial services is to go into the NZ market.
Yep.
And we did, and it would have been a great benefit because we utilised New Zealand agents and the New Zealand accountants to do those filings and stuff, whereas we could have had, I guess, our own version at the time and been doing and handling all of that in-house instead of paying quite high fees, because I think they're, gouging Australians a little bit because they could provide the service and we couldn't.
Yeah, and the little secret is that they provide the service to you, and then they go to CAS 360 and put the data in, and then file it off to the regulator. So they're using the same tools as you are, but they might. Yeah,
and now you have the benefit of using that now as well, so which is fantastic.
That's exactly right, and we don't charge any extra. It's the same as adding a company, so you pay your $13 company fee, or 13 extra GST company fee, and then it's just added to your subscription.
Yeah, and we'll share Warren's details out of this, but in terms, if there's anyone who's looking in obviously all the products, but in CAS 360, in terms of if they're utilising another provider at the moment in ways that we can bring you across and assist with that process, and demonstration from Warren shared it now, and he's happy to have that, and obviously line up other people within BGL in relation to Invest and Simple Fund and the rest. So Laura, if you can just move the next slide, we'll jump in and we'll hand the reins over to Warren. And that's obviously the light year's got an API with CAS where we send the information through at the moment in relation to companies when they're set up. So it goes through to CAS, and but that'll be rolling out and improving it even further with Light Year Docs 2.0 coming out. But just got what CAS 360 is, empowering professionals to automate workflows and efficiently manage company compliance, which is why it works in really well with Light Year Docs. But I'll hand it over to you, Warren, now, if you want to jump in and show CAS 360.
Yeah, all right. So I'll click my screen share, and hopefully someone can give me a thumbs up when they can see my screen. And all good, beautiful. So we'll go through, and I'll just do a bit of an overview, but just to set the scene, there's obviously a lot of products that do corporate compliance. There's our CAS desktop product. So if there's anyone in the webinar that's on CAS desktop, we have a free migration that we can migrate across. If you're on a different organization software, like a Now Infinity, for example, there's certainly tools that we have to move your data from that product to ours. And obviously there's a number of other applications out there that we can also move data on. One of the things that I'll cover off with CAS 360 is that it is company and trust management. So we will manage all of your companies, but we'll also manage all of your trusts as well. So you'll be able to prepare trust registers, company registers throughout the product, and also all of the change documents that happen for those particular entities. So I'll go through. Now, the first thing this is your company screen that you're looking at, and we've got all our company data in. So either a migration or an ASIC data download, and all of your data is in. And then what we do is we focused on eliminating manual tasks in the practice. So many practices today will have a spreadsheet that tells them when their annual reviews are coming in. So in CAS 360, we just built an automated process that will filter all of your companies and show you all the annual reviews. And here are all the annual reviews that are received. So within 2 clicks, you've got all of those annual reviews ready to go. CAS 360 is connected to ASIC, downloaded them, bought them in, and they're ready to process. I can have a look at my ones that are upcoming. So these are the ones that I'm coming soon. And then I can have a look at the ones where essentially the date has passed and I haven't received them, but I won't touch on that too much because that's just a check there. So we've got our annual reviews received. We can go to our review screen and we can get ready to process them. Now you might like this next feature, Michael, because we can now process them in bulk. So you don't even have to do them one by one anymore. So the first thing we do is we have a look at these comparison results here. So this is a really important part of getting the annual company statement document pack into your client's hands. Now I've set it up so that the 3 fail here, but what I can do is I can click on the fail, and CAS 360 will compare the CAS 360 data and the ASIC database in real time, okay, and make sure that all of your data matches. And if there is a discrepancy, it will be highlighted. So straight away, I can see here that CAS 360 has a difference between John's address in CAS 360 and John's address, Jebediah's address, sorry, on the ASIC database. So straight away, without doing any work, CAS 360 has highlighted this for you, and you can investigate where the problem is. If the problem is just on the CAS side, you can correct it. Obviously, if the problem is on the ASIC side, you'll need to raise a form and lodge that off. In terms of processing these annual reviews, obviously you can do it one by one, but you can also do them in bulk now. So I can click on select all, click prepare documents, okay, and I can proceed to completing the annual review in bulk for all of these companies. And I can use digital signing. Okay, so I've got Adobe Sign, DocuSign, and Fuse Sign. And
I love that too. I know you're agnostic in terms of signing providers and everything, but we use Fuse Sign ourselves, and I absolutely love Fuse Sign, and I was so happy when it came on board recently.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and we're really happy to support. I mean, obviously we support all of our digital signing providers, but
correct.
It's great to have Fuse Sign in there as an Aussie company as well, I guess. So you can pick your document pack. Obviously, you can proceed to deliver by email. Here are all the email recipients. Click proceed, and then I click the final proceed here, and that will send all of those annual reviews out. So if you've got 100, 200, 300 annual reviews that you are processing in a year, okay, you can see how quick that automated process will make processing that annual review. You can get the annual reviews out of your office, out of your practice in 3-4 clicks, get them into your client's hands. Obviously, you can create invoices and deliver them to the clients as well. But what you're able to do is complete that chargeable work really, really quickly, Michael, and get the job done on your side, get the documents into your client's hands, and hopefully get the clients paying ASIC very quickly as well. I just wanted to check the chat and see if there's any questions, because I can move on. Good, not too many, so that's good. I'll keep going. The next alert I'm going to have a look at is my document deadline alert. So there's three key pillars of corporate compliance work. There's the annual review, there's the document deadlines, and then there's the company debt. So the next one I'll have a look at is your document deadlines. Very similar to your annual reviews. At the click of a button, you can see all of your companies that have outstanding documents that need to be lodged to ASIC. So I can put my mouse over a particular document here, and I can see that this document or this annual review is actually late. Okay, hopefully it doesn't get there. We do actually have a countdown from 14 days, 7 days due today, so that you can track it along the way. But if the document is late or becoming late, you can click send reminder. And what you're actually able to do is send a reminder off to the client. We've got a beautiful digital signing integration there, so you can see who has and who hasn't signed the document as well. So obviously only the two people that haven't signed the document will receive that reminder. But what it's there to do is to automate all of that tracking. So much of this work was previously, or still done today, in spreadsheets, but CAS 360 takes away the spreadsheets, takes away the management of spreadsheets, because we've got this whole automation built into the system. And then the third alert is all about company debt with ASIC. So every day we connect to ASIC, we download all of your invoices, we bring them into the system, and then we reconcile those invoices with the global debt report. And what we are able to do is show you which clients have outstanding debt with ASIC. So you can see here, I've got a nice, we'll just move that, but I've got a client here that's got a nice amount owing to ASIC. Okay, I can click on the invoice. So I've got the official ASIC invoice in the system. So there it is there.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love this part, yeah.
All right, and what you're able to do is then click send reminder to the client. You can send a reminder to the client. You can also send an SMS to the client as well. So not only can you email them with debt, maybe you get a better response with the SMS. Either way, the email or the SMS will include a pay now link, and you'll actually be able to pay the fee on your phone or from your computer. So obviously able to make sure you pay that debt very, very quickly. There's sort of some of the three key alert features. I'll just jump into one of my companies and show you making sort of a change here. So what I'm able to do is have a look at my company details. I can go into something like company addresses. I'll toggle on an address change to print the forms for that. I'll go into my offices screen. So here's a list of all of my company offices. And what I can do is obviously add in an officer. Okay, so here is my officer details that I've added in. Hit save. I can flag that to be printed. And then I can move over to my shareholder screen. So my shareholder screen, I've got a beautiful, nice pie chart on the left-hand side. Certainly, if you've got a complex capital structure, this really helps out, Michael. And if you are doing a raise, it'll give you nice information on who the shareholders are and what they own. We'll also have all of the share transaction types. So we don't just do allotments and transfers. We have buybacks, cancellations, redemptions, subdivisions, all of those beautiful transactions that happen in companies. But CAS 360 will support all of them and prepare all of your docs as well. But I'll just toggle on an allotment here. Down the bottom, I've got prepare forms with the number 3 in brackets. That's all I need to know. So I've put my 3 transactions in. I click prepare forms. CAS 360 does the rest. We've got our full document pack here, including a cover letter if I want that. I've got a form 484. So if I preview that, up will come my form. And the best thing is there's one form, but it has all of the transactions. So it's got my address change, it's got my officer change, and it's got my shareholder change all on the one form. So I don't have multiple forms. I've also got one combined directors meeting minute or resolution as well. So that's all there and can be signed off. So really simple processing, but a really powerful set of documents to get produced. Obviously my updated register of officers, all the way down to things like share certificates. So I have all of that. So I've got my full document pack. Where CAS 360 takes a lot of the complexity out is because of the transactions you've selected, we know what form you need. Okay, so it's not a case that you need to go and prepare a form 484. You don't need to know that. You just need to know that there was a change of officers. You do the change of officers transaction in CAS 360, and CAS 360 will prepare all of the Corporations Act required documents. Okay, so you get that compliance.
And it's really good because, I mean, you have your client support or client service officers and team doing this, and there's no need for them. Obviously, you can train them in terms of form numbers and everything, but there's no need for when you bring on new team members for them to know the different forms or anything. It's just like, can you do this address change for Warren? This is in this company. Go in there, bang, select it, go through, prints the required forms, and they don't have to go in and go, hey, hang on, is it a form 484? Is it 362? What is it?
Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, we made the decision when we were building it to basically not show the form numbers until we absolutely had to, because it's all about completing the transaction in plain English and then the system deciding what form you need. So a couple of other really powerful features: document review. So if you wanted to review the documents before they go to the client, you can flag a manager or a director for review. And then obviously upload. So if you wanted to upload an invoice or upload something else, you could do that. Then you click send. And again, we go through, validate those, send those documents off with digital signing built in, so that the client can not only get the documents quickly, they can sign them quickly. When the clients sign the documents, their signed copies automatically come back into CAS 360 and are filed and ready to go. Ready to go, meaning ready to be lodged. We prepare dividends, so we can prepare all of your dividend statements and dividend transactions as well in the system. And we'll also have your document management. So every company and trust, all of their documents are saved permanently in the system. So you've always got a record of them.
We also have ours. We'll grab some water. We also have ours. I know there's some questions there in relation to XPM and everything, but we have ours linked into, or an API with ours into FYI Docs. We use FYI Docs and obviously stores everything and sends them across and stuff, which is fantastic.
Yeah, Michael, I saw the question about XPM. So we do have a beautiful two-way integration with XPM, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of firms that are using that today, which is great. But we have an open API. So we have an open policy in terms of integrating with partners. So FYI Docs, as you mentioned, is an integration partner as well. We've got a lot of integration partners. Really, we focus on document management. Sorry.
You take a break as well.
We focus on document management, document providers, digital signing, practice management. So all of the apps in those areas all are integrated, which is great.
I saw Paul Hopkins got a question. Will BGL build in automatic reminders for annual review invoices? The due date gets closer by either email or text. I know, and I'll let you answer this. It's a question I sometimes get from NI or corporate messenger users. But I'll let you respond to that.
Yeah, no, we've definitely got something in the works for Paul and for everyone that asks that. So it's a pretty common bit of feedback. We have automated reminders for documents. So if you send out a 484, you can set up a series of automated reminders. We just don't have automated reminders for debt. They are obviously manual reminders, but certainly you'll see something before the end of the year, Paul, in regards to automated reminders for debt and something a little bit beyond what you're thinking. I'll give you that hint.
Just leave that for everyone to think about.
I'll move on now to trusts. So CAS 360 will manage all of your trusts as well. And there's such a great relationship between companies and trusts because so many of the companies will be trustee companies. Correct. So all of your trusts, whether they're unit trust, discretionary trust, hybrids, bare trusts, all can be supported in CAS 360. Unfortunately, there's no beautiful ASIC download for trusts. So we do give you a trust import spreadsheet. So you can put your trusts into the spreadsheet with all your unit holders, all your beneficiaries, that information, and we'll import them into CAS 360 for you. Obviously, you can still key the trusts in through the system as well, but the spreadsheet might make it a little bit quicker. Inside a trust, we've got a huge amount of features and functionality. So if I go into one of my unit trusts, I can have a look. I've got trust details here. I've got my trust relationships where I can have a look at things like who the trustee is and who the settlor is, but I can also put in my appointer, accountant, auditor, things like that. So I've got all of that information that I can store and record, and I can also prepare transactions if there was, for example, a change of trustee. Then I have my unit holder screen, and this screen will be very familiar because it's almost identical to the shareholder screen. So all of your unit transactions are the same as your share transactions. They work in the same way. It helps you really keep familiar with the share screen and also the unit screen. If there's a unit transfer, the process is identical to a share transfer. And if you were to do something like a unit transfer, the system will prepare a set of documents that you would need for a unit transfer. So got a trustee minute resolution, a unit holder minute resolution, a register of unit holders. I've also got a unit transfer form, a unit transfer journal, and I've got all the processes of digital signing and delivery and everything like that should I want to use it.
I think this is quite so powerful. I mean, because accountants, you traditionally have the corporate compliance, you to prepare all these sorts of documents and you keep track of your registers and stuff. But not trusts were done maybe when you're doing the financials and you might have an Excel worksheet or reconciliation. But now you've got this product to be able to do all the same thing as what you're doing with your companies.
Absolutely. And we've got our unit trust distributions as well. So you can do them almost identical to your dividends. There's one really powerful feature I want to talk about, and that's trust events. So what this allows you to do is store and record all of the events that happen inside the trust and prepare supporting docs for them. So if you wanted to, for example, purchase a property, or the trust was to purchase a property, you can purchase that, put that asset acquisition into the system and prepare supporting documents for it. And you can store and record all of that as well. So that's under trust events. The big one, which a lot of people will be thinking out loud watching this, is what about my discretionary trusts? We have a lot more discretionary trusts. Well, CAS 360 will store all of that information as well. So here are my discretionary trust details. We have the same relationships tab here, okay, because the appointers, settlers, trustees are the same. We also will have the same events tab as well, so you can use trust events. But we have a beneficiaries tab for our discretionary trusts. Here are all the beneficiaries, okay, so they are listed, and we can also prepare for you a discretionary trust distribution. So what I've got here, let me just pull up one I've prepared earlier. Here I've got a discretionary trust distribution here, and what I'm going to go is I can distribute by dollar amount, by percentage, or by free text. The free text is the one that you would do prior to June 30, for example, where you are setting up that particular distribution, and you might want to type things in like, first $480 or whatever, and then 50% of the balance and things like that. So you can put all of that in, but then you can put in, once you've got the figures, you can put in the distribution by the dollar amount, and CAS 360 will sort all of that out. We do support a huge amount of income tax components as well, so you can add all of these in. And at the end, you prepare a distribution document pack. Okay, so you've got your distribution statement, distribution resolution, listing of distributions paid, and again, can deliver that out as well. So full company and trust management of all of those particular needs that you might need.
I know Brad Smith's got an interesting question there in relation to, can you do other minutes in CAS 360? I know only because I'm not at the coalface in utilising it as much as I used to be, but I know you can, there's a template section where you can edit the templates and create your own and stuff. I'm not sure in relation to, can you create a custom one that would come out with for signing of, for approving financials and stuff? That's
Yeah, no, it's a great point, and it's again another one that's incredibly high on our wish list. So I'll answer them in two different ways. All of the documents prepared in CAS 360 can be customized, so they are Microsoft Word templates. So you have full control over everything other than the ASIC forms themselves. You have full control over every document that comes out of CAS 360. So you can change the wording, the font, the branding, everything. So all of that. We are obviously limited in the documents that we prepare because they're based on the transactions that we've put in. So there is a feature that we are working on called freeform documents, which will allow you to prepare any document, a minute, a resolution, anything for anything. So basically custom documents. So again, that's one we are working on this quarter, and you will see it hopefully by the end of the year. So we've got freeform documents, which is the name of that particular feature. And we have done some work on it, some designs on it. It looks great, but not there just yet, but you will see it in quarter 4.
I see Sharif has a question in relation to diagram relationships and stuff. I mean, we personally, we use Change GPS in relation. We utilize their blueprint in there to create our relationship documents and our structured documents, which talks into XPM, and obviously XPM talks into BGL, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's a great answer, Michael. So we don't have a document, a company chart, but we do have integrations with Change GPS.
You do, correct.
And with Change GPS's integration, it's actually automated. So they've automated the structure. So you simply connect your CAS 360 to Change GPS blueprint, and that's it. It basically takes the data that's in CAS 360 and graphs out a corporate chart. So
it's wonderful, isn't it? Too, because you sort of group client, like do a client group and everything, and it just picks it up and updates it and everything, and it's wonderful, like so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something they've done a lot of work on, and it looks great. If you've got a group, where you might have a trading entity, a trustee entity, and an SMSF entity, and then you've got the trust attached to that, and then obviously the SMSF in Simple Fund, you can chart that up really well.
Can John's got a quick, can distributions in BGL be amended later on if need be? So if there's been if there's an amendment to the financials, or the financials are a bit different than what you did at 30 June, can you then go in and create a amended distribution?
Yeah, absolutely. So you go into the distribution, click review distributions. All the distributions you prepared are saved, which scares people, but all the distributions you've prepared are saved. So you can go in here and I can amend this if I needed to, and make the change, and that will update it. And then I would just click save and prepare, and I'd prepare that document pack with the amended amounts. So certainly can do that.
Yeah, Brad, you can group entities in CAS 360. There's tags and everything that might not be the correct terminology, but they're effectively our tags where you can group.
Yeah, technically we call them labels, but absolutely
labels.
You group the entities, and you can certainly group them. And what you can do with our labels is you can group them however you want. So by user, by manager, by family, and what that allows you to do is use those labels for things like reporting and everything like that.
Fantastic.
There are a lot of other features. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any questions about features that people wanted to see. So yeah, there's a question here: are the copies of previous also kept with date and timestamps? In terms of the data, no, they're not kept with date and timestamps. It's just saved data. But if you prepare documents, the documents would be saved in the document screen, I guess, with the dates. So, I mean, if they're obviously amended, then maybe you could delete them, or put a comment on there that they've been amended. But yeah, you certainly can take them out if they're wrong.
John's got a question there about Simple Fund, and then this might I don't know the 400 list, but it says Bank of Queensland Suncorp. I believe Suncorp, because my fund has a Suncorp account as well as St George ones. I'm pretty sure I've got a data feed going through to that.
Yeah, John, I would say off the top of my head, yes. I would say seek clarification from the document list that's on our website, from the provider list. But I mean, generally most of them are. I think there was one or two of the neobanks that we weren't able to get feeds from, but generally the answer is yes for all of them. And I'd say with those two, the answer is yes.
Yeah, definitely. Or if you just want to jump back to the slide pack, that's okay. That was fantastic. It was very thorough. Or you'd certainly know the product well.
I could talk for hours about it, mate.
Yeah. Laura, are you there?
Yeah,
I
just have to wait.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, so if anyone wants to jump, any questions and answers, obviously, before we wrap things up shortly, but in there we can answer. And Warren's put his details. Just go to the next slide. Yeah, and then we obviously never miss a webinar. We'll get some details there. Just wrapping up, and just some before we say goodbye to Warren, thank him and everything. Just some of this good webinar series I've got coming up. We've got one with EO and Credit Reboot. I recorded in their Sydney office when I was down there before the lockdown, and we had some recording and it's a great offering they've got, and we're going to do that again, join with Lawrence. One that I'm really looking forward to, and I know Laura and Anusa as well. We've had a pre-session with her, is Joy Song from Tax Nuggets. She's a very funny lady. She's on in LinkedIn, and her LinkedIn posts have me laughing every time, but she has an amazing product. We have it within our team. They show little videos and board games in relation to tax legislation. I cannot wait to have her on, and it'll be a session with a bit different. And we're also going to have a late session coming up. We might have a couple of wines and stuff, and we might bring some Lightyear Doc members and some product providers, and we'll have a bit of a round table session coming up. But I just wanted to jump on the last slide there, Laura. Just wanted to thank Warren for your time today. Really impressed. As I said, I love BGL. I love the team there. I love the product, which really helps. And Lightyear continues to build our relationship with you guys, and which we really value.
No, thank you very much for the opportunity, Michael. It's the feeling's mutual.
Just check the questions quickly, make sure. It's quite a long one. We'll download those and provide answers. Warren can provide some. I know there's some people who have asked for some demonstrations and stuff, but appreciate all the questions. Appreciate everyone today and their time for coming in and watching. Thanks, Warren. Can't wait to speak to you next time. There was a really great session. Thanks for that.
No problem, guys. And yeah, send through the chat and the Q&A, and I'll get back to people who have asked questions.
Will do. Okay.